with Big Mo. Oh, man.
Christopher, you ready?
Are you going to keep boxing?
Yeah.
You really love this shit, huh?
So here's where everything went sideways. The moment Anthony Joshua delivered that harsh dose of reality, Jake Paul's world crumbled, and what followed was Logan Paul absolutely losing his mind. While Logan watched his brother get dismantled, something inside him snapped completely. This wasn't just a knockout anymore, this was a family meltdown happening live, and it got messier than anyone expected.
Incredible!
Jake Paul being measured up by Joshua for that right hand! Gets flipped again!
This whole thing was pitched as dangerous, bold, potentially game-changing. The matchup between Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua got packaged like some kind of high-stakes bet that might flip boxing on its head. But when that bell actually rang, the gambling stopped and the harsh truth started. Nobody predicted just how bad this would get. And we're not just talking about Jake here. Logan was about to lose it too, because this went way beyond a simple knockout. This became a complete public meltdown of hype, pride, and family drama, all playing out while millions watched and waited to pick it apart.
I just pissed him off. Then he broke my brother's jaw. Fuck this guy.
Broke his jaw, huh?
Yeah, oh, he's his jaw's fucked. You know? He don't care though. Jake's having a fucking blast.
Here's the thing though. This disaster didn't actually begin inside that ring. It started building weeks before, with Logan Paul acting like the result was already locked in. From every ringside moment to every social media post, Logan kept hammering the same story. Anthony Joshua was washed up, overrated, completely beatable. He literally claimed Joshua was already losing rounds before they even fought. Words like legacy destroyer got thrown around like promises, not just hopes. Logan wasn't simply supporting his brother anymore. He was betting his own credibility on Jake's success. This stopped being family loyalty and became pure ego warfare.
Yeah, it was largely because he was mostly running away from AJ rather than standing toe-to-toe with him to fight. It's the difference between fighting a Bengal tiger and running away from a Bengal tiger.
That hype train went completely off the rails. Millions tuned in for the buildup. Boxing experts kept saying the same thing over and over. There's a massive difference between influencer boxing and facing a real heavyweight who shared rings with world champions. But those warnings got completely buried under all the noise. Logan kept pushing harder, Jake kept buying into it, and the Paul brand kept getting louder and louder, right up until the moment everything fell apart.
Really is. Oh, the uppercut, and he took it! Jake Paul took it! Oh, the right hand by Paul!
Once the actual fighting began, that skill gap became painfully obvious. Joshua stayed calm, stayed patient, just waited for his moments. Jake looked tight, awkward, completely out of place. By the middle rounds, this wasn't about confidence anymore. This was pure survival mode. Joshua dropped Jake twice in round 5. Real knockdowns, the kind that crush your spirit fast. Then he did it again in the 6th round. 2 more trips to the canvas. 4 total. At 1 minute 31 seconds of the 6th round, it ended. Complete knockout. No arguments, just dead silence, where all that hype used to live.
Since he quickly realized fighting AJ was not going to work for him, he naturally began incorporating even more flight, running away, and freezing, falling to the ground at any chance he had, just to survive the rounds.
I mean, all it's doing is buying Jake Paul more time. I don't like it at all.
Do you remember what Mike Tyson famously said? Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth.
Anthony Joshua's gigantic.
So big.
He's so big. He's so much bigger. So, of course, like, his punch that he knocks Tyron Woodley out cold with, Joshua just eats it.
Yeah.
Because he's a giant.
Yeah.
He's a fucking giant.
Those statistics made everything worse. Jake connected on just 16 punches out of 56 tries. That's not competitive fighting at this level. That's getting completely outclassed. And the physical damage wasn't just symbolic either. Jake left with a double broken jaw requiring immediate surgery. This wasn't some close battle that went wrong. This was exactly the mismatch that professionals predicted it would be. And then, the cameras found Logan.
I'm just so proud of him. My mom has me.
Your brother gave everything he had out there.
Weights have taken that right hand and only took one.
I'm just so proud of him. That was incredible. In my view, that was a victory on all fronts.
As Jake got helped out of that ring, Logan completely fell apart. All that confidence disappeared instantly. That swagger just collapsed. The commentators picked up on it immediately. This wasn't just concern for family. This was anger, shame, and straight panic. Logan exploded emotionally, visibly furious, and not at Joshua either. He was mad at Jake. Right then, it looked less like a worried brother and more like someone watching their entire public image get destroyed. He's going to be absolutely terrified.
And he's going to have a lot to prove. He's going to be very angry that Jake Paul wants to fight him.
That's what made this so brutal to witness. Logan had spent weeks running his mouth. Now the entire world was laughing at him. His trash talk got replayed right next to those knockout clips. His cockiness got replayed next to Jake getting carried away. Millions saw every second in real time. The Paul brothers weren't running the show anymore. They were stuck inside it, completely helpless.
Like, minus the actual victory, of course, but bro, like, no one expected him to last 6 rounds with AJ. In my opinion, he won 4 of them. People will argue that he at least won 3. No one expected him to last that long. Rolled his ankle, broke his jaw, still fucking fighting, man. Like, that's toughness.
Behind the scenes, that tension just kept building. Reports talked about Logan yelling, shaking with frustration, barely containing his rage. This wasn't just about losing one fight. This was about getting completely exposed. Anthony Joshua didn't just knock Jake unconscious. He shattered the entire Paul experiment. He revealed the massive gap between hype and actual skill, and Logan felt it hit immediately. Honestly, it's one of the wildest situations ever. The internet reaction was absolutely savage. Fans destroyed those pre-fight predictions. Analysts dissected every failed moment. Boxing commentators finally said what everyone was thinking. Influencer boxing dies when legitimate heavyweights show up. Logan's complete breakdown became almost as viral as the knockout itself. Clips, jokes, arguments flooded every platform. Some people defended him as emotional. Others called it desperation, watching a brand completely crack under pressure.
This YouTuber who's fought Tommy Fury, who's a legit boxer, and, a couple other guys that were legit boxers. That's it. Like, everyone else he's fought Ben Askren, who's really a wrestler. He fought Tyron Woodley, who was an elite MMA fighter, but, not an elite boxer.
Several days later, Logan attempted damage control. The entire tone shifted dramatically. No more tough talk. No more challenges. He called the knockout an expected outcome. He admitted the talent difference. He praised Jake for lasting as long as he managed. He recognized the injury. The words sounded calmer, more thoughtful, but the damage was already permanent. People remembered the yelling, the boasting, the complete meltdown. What made this sting even more was the family drama. This wasn't just a defeat. It was a public brother against brother moment. Logan's anger showed how desperately he needed Jake to win, not for boxing glory, but for their image. When Jake crashed, Logan crashed with him, and everyone witnessed it.
Clearly.
And there's some sort of a rehydration clause. Listen, kids, it ain't going to matter. There's not a chance that Anthony Joshua is not going to just lose the weight beforehand. He's not going to come in drained. What he's going to do is just do extra cardio.
This bout will be remembered for that knockout, but the aftermath is what really sticks. The hype machine broke down, the fantasy shattered, and for the first time in forever, the Paul brothers weren't controlling the narrative. They were trapped under it. The second that fight ended, everything started falling apart. Not gradually, not quietly, but instantly. Jake was barely getting up when the camera switched to Logan, and you could read it all over his face. This wasn't surprise. This was panic mixed with pure fury. His expression wasn't asking if his brother was okay. It was screaming. This was never supposed to happen like this. And as Jake got assisted out, jaw shattered, head hanging down, the last thing anyone expected was Logan completely losing control in front of the entire world.
I think the camp wasn't 100%. Is that accurate?
That's kind of what I was going to ask. Like, do you feel like it was your best camp?
No, I mean, just because, I was weighing 200 pounds when we confirmed the fight.
Logan didn't just seem upset, he seemed betrayed. like someone had just destroyed his master plan without any warning. One moment, he's the loudest voice in the building. The next moment, he's pacing around, making fists, snapping at everyone nearby. Cameras captured him talking angrily, shaking his head, clearly livid. The vibe was intense. This wasn't a supportive big brother moment. This was pure "you just humiliated me on the biggest stage possible" energy. Millions were tuned in, and Logan didn't care. He lost it anyway. And he was shaken.
Right there. I don't know if you heard me.
Yeah, I did.
That's what made this both uncomfortable and weirdly entertaining simultaneously. Jake is getting helped out after taking 4 knockdowns and getting stopped at 1 minute 31 of round 6. And Logan looks like he wants to yell, "You had one responsibility," not at Joshua, not at boxing, but at his own flesh and blood. The commentators caught it right away. One basically said, without directly saying it, "This isn't worry, this is damage control panic mode." Logan understood exactly what this knockout represented. This wasn't simply a loss. This was reputation destruction in high definition.
To get that world-class gas tank, you need like a Sam Calavita. You need like a Nick Curson. You need like these plyometrics experts that who got heart rate monitors on you, and they're checking when your recovery is ready and go.
Yeah.
And you're fucking yeah. You need guys monitoring your recovery, monitoring your heart rate variability, your VO2 max.
For weeks, Logan had been acting like Joshua was done. Like this fight was just setting up the Paul victory celebration. He said legacy destroyer with complete confidence. Now Joshua had destroyed something all right. But it wasn't his own legacy. It was the fantasy the Paul brothers had been marketing. And Logan realized it instantly. You could see it in how he couldn't stay still. How he kept gesturing wildly, how he looked less like family and more like a businessman whose investment just exploded.
A guy who just had a boxing match that looks like a sparring match with a 58-year-old Mike Tyson. And then you're going to fight one of the absolute scariest knockout artists
in the heavyweight division. Behind the scenes, things didn't get better. If anything, they got much worse. Reports described Logan trembling, yelling, clearly enraged, reliving that moment repeatedly. That phrase, "You had one responsibility, Jake," basically captured everything. And that's harsh, because Jake didn't just lose. He connected on only 16 punches out of 56 attempts. He got knocked down 4 times. He left needing double jaw surgery, and on top of everything else, he had to handle his brother's rage spilling over.
The timing in that right hand, just spectacular.
That's stepping in as well.
Over the top. I mean, that was a full force shot to the temple. I mean, he's Fucksville right now.
Then the emotional wreckage hit. Pride got damaged. Ego got destroyed even worse. Both brothers suddenly found themselves under intense scrutiny. Jake got criticized for accepting a fight he wasn't prepared for. Logan got criticized for talking too much and then having a breakdown when reality arrived. Every reaction video, every podcast, every comment thread became an analysis session they never wanted. The knockout broke the fantasy. The meltdown proved it. What people witnessed wasn't just a fighter getting finished. They watched 2 brothers lose control of a story they thought they controlled. And that's why this moment still resonates. It wasn't just loud. It wasn't just viral. It was honest, chaotic, and genuine in a way the Paul brand rarely shows. Anthony Joshua threw those punches, but the aftermath caused the lasting damage. This fight gets remembered because it stripped away the mask from all that hype. Skill defeated noise, experience crushed arrogance, and reality arrived without any mercy. Logan's breakdown became a clear warning about what happens when ego gets louder than preparation and family pride becomes public pressure. The knockout wasn't just physical, it was meaningful. A clear boundary between influencer boxing and the real unforgiving world of professional heavyweights. The story was devastating and unmistakable. Endless arrogance, a vicious knockout, a ringside breakdown, and quiet damage control afterwards. The Paul brothers built their empire on control, and now it's cracked. What comes next won't be quiet. It's going to be explosive.